Betty Jo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
And I cannot hear you.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Can you
I
hear
got
me
you.
now? Okay.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Well, that's a delay.
Yeah, that's a delay. Oh, yeah.
Do we need to remove the Zoom then?
Yeah, I just took
I
it
mean,
off.
the YouTube?
All right, I think we're good now.
Hey, Jerry, let's go. Okay. Hey, all right. Living a dream. Okay. I'm just gonna get Joe over here.
Yes. Joe is the CFO.
CFO, hello, Betty Jo.
Hello.
So, Denise, you want to kick off? You want me to kick off? What do you?
So we have a payroll company that we've had for several years.
Okay.
There have been issues with the program, and they haven't been able to correct the problems that we have.
Okay.
Some of them, some of the reasons we went with them were to have on our pay stub the time that was left, approved and left, and that hasn't happened. And also, we have staff that wants to have people punch in. Some of the staff, not all of the staff. So we wanted to have the ability to punch it in some format on a computer is preferable if that can be done. And then manage time as well. So each department head would be in charge of managing their department, and at a pay period's end, it would just show up for payroll to then be able to either take the document and move it into what would you call it? The payroll, the system, or check it and make sure everybody is approved, and those are the major things we want. Also, we want to be able to have things like the I'm not sure what the reporting is done. Betty Jo, the reporting that we want to make sure they do as opposed to in-house. What kind of payroll is that called?
Well, I mean, you mean paying our taxes and that kind of thing, or no? Yeah. So, I mean, we would obviously do the pension report, but we'd want you to do the tax payments when they're required and due, printing the W-2s, if you do the ACA forms for us at the end of the year for anyone with health insurance.
Yeah. Are you part of state health benefits?
We are not.
No,
We're in the southern HIF.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Southern HIF. Okay, thank you. Your time system, does that manage your goals and have a workflow?
It does not right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're mostly doing that manually.
Right. That's nice.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Everybody's
How many unions?
one union.
Just one? Yeah, just you. Okay. How are you doing your scheduling and that kind of stuff? Is that on Excel or?
No, we use a company called Homebase for scheduling.
Okay.
And then time management system on it. Do that through Excel spreadsheet.
Okay. I'm not familiar with Homebase.
Yeah, I wasn't either until I saw it at the price, and that's why it's super easy to use. We only have 30 close, right now it's 12 police officers, right? So it's designed for like smaller scale like organization. Yeah.
So, and with that, we have three basically different types of scheduling. We have a 40-hour work week, we have a 35-hour work week, and we have a 12. I don't know how is that still 40 hours?
Yes.
So it's a 7-hour, an 8-hour, and a 12-hour, and a 10-hour. So we have a lot of different.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And how many employees do we get to? It's about 50 when you and I talked. Is that correct?
Part-time and full-time?
Yeah,
26.
No, we have parks.
No, your parks and playgrounds.
And
I think I have 22, just with me.
Is it the crossing guards, another one, full-time, just a
I mean, he
dedicated
must have
part-time?
all of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, total employees, 50, 60
20, 22 for the police department.
for the police, but I mean, for the total.
And I don't know, how many clerks are playing?
Well, I would say 50 is a good number, but I'll respond and tell you more or less.
Yeah,
You got how many?
Yeah, we can see how many W-2s we issued last year. That might give us
Yeah.
a good indication as to how many people were paid.
Yeah.
Okay,
okay, yeah, well, thanks for that background. Does anybody know Prime Point?
No,
we've been recommended by several other towns.
Sure.
About Prime Point.
Yeah.
But we haven't,
I've been trying, you know, I know Ray Woods, I've been trying for Ray Woods for
Oh.
forever.
okay.
Prime Point, we're out of West Hampton, New Jersey, I'm not sure where to look here.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, you look wherever you want.
We're out of West Hampton, New Jersey. Been doing payrolls since the seventies, started as a bookkeeping service, worked in payroll in the eighties, the kids got, really made this schools probably in the last 15 counties, 7 counties, here in Camden County. Got 10 clients, including Pennsauken on one side, you know, maybe Chase Burlington, but they're on the other side. Voorhees. We know New Jersey government. We have a dedicated government service team. That's all they do is New Jersey government. So we're familiar with your PERS reporting that you mentioned earlier. We'll give you a PERS report that you can key the data in. We can't put that report in. I think there's only one company that's able to do that in the state. But if you're on Chapter 78, Chapter 70, you know, the
So
ship.
asking that question, if you know Chapter 78, will that be something we have to put in as on a spreadsheet or
It's built into our
it's
tables.
built in? Okay,
Yeah, and we did that when I came out 10, 12 years ago now. So, yeah, so you can put in the tier, the salary thing. Okay, so you straight Chapter 78, that's included there. So our payroll and HRMS, human resource management systems, proprietary technology we developed in-house. In addition to doing New Jersey municipalities, we do a lot of nonprofits, we do a lot of commercial accounts. We have about 2,500 clients. I started with them 15 years ago. I was employee number 30. We're now 15 years later, 90 employees. So we've been growing pretty well. And principally what I do is New Jersey government. I go to GFOA. I don't know, Betty Jo, if you go to the GFOA or not, but I'm there regularly. Municipal managers, I go to that. New Jersey Association of Counties, we're very active with that as well. I participated in the league, don't do much damage. I'm not sure if you guys do not. Yeah, you know what it is, the league's the league. As far as the payroll, you know, we understand shift diffs, we understand alternative pay rates, we understand whatever you want to go through on that. So it's, you know, we do a lot of municipalities. Our time and labor system, we white label UKG product, Chronos Group. It's their workforce ready product, but we sell service and implement that in-house. I take over that from UKG themselves directly because we do a better job of servicing that. You can clock in on a computer, you can clock in on your cell phone, you can clock in on a hardware device if you want that. You know, I don't know, biometric.
we had that before, so we don't.
You don't want
do
any of that,
no.
okay.
And we don't want everyone to. We want to be able to have the ability, some to clock in and some to
Yeah.
not be required.
You can absolutely do that. And in the system itself, it has a time off request tool, so you would give us your personnel manual, your collective bargaining agreement. We would program the rules, whatever they are. We have a conversation with you and say, gee, this is what you do. You know, this is how your rules really work. It says they have to give you 2 days notice before they take personal day. You're not really following that, or, you know, that type of thing, right? But it's probably in your contract, you know, so that's kind of great. So we need, you know, make sure that works correctly. Load the rules in there, and when somebody wants time off, they can go on to the time system, request the time off.
So individually, everyone.
Individually,
Okay.
yeah. Go on, request time off, and then their supervisor, whoever it is going to get a request that says Jerry wants time off. go into the system, does Jerry have the time, A, and B, do you have coverage, say your department, that'll make it okay for Jerry to take that time off and approve. So if somebody wants to see their time, they can go on their calendar, they can see when they took the time, see when they got the time off, all those things. This has worked quite well. You know, if you got anything like comp time for DPW or callback time, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know, I mean, we can handle that in our system.
So you do multiple types of time off.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then would it be a scheduling, type software option too, or?
Yeah, so for DPW, it works really well, you know, the 7:30 to 3:30 type shift, that type of thing. If you want the advanced schedule, advanced schedule module does 24/7. So it does a good thing, it does shift swaps and handles all that kind of stuff. An additional cost of that, but it's integrated with our time calendar, so it might have a little bit of advantage of home-based type of thing because it's all there. Okay. I think right now we're $350 per employee per month additional for that one. Okay. And our base time system, your size, I don't know, $5 an employee per month or something like that. But I'll get you a proposal so you see the numbers on that. But yeah, so we know that very well. We do your W-2s, we'll do your 1095s. What else do you need? You know, I give you a PERS report that shows you all the changes in the quarter, so you can report that. We'll handle, you know, your garnishment payments and those things if you want us to do that. You have any trouble with this, you were right up in West Hampton, right around, you get my office. We do a government user group a couple times a year. We've got one coming up April 30th up at Stone Terrace in Hamilton, where we get together our government clients, with 150 of our clients and users come together for that. So that's the company in a nutshell in our expertise in the government space. Typically, you know, I would prepare a proposal, get that to you, but also do an online demo via Zoom, so you guys can ask the questions, see it work, see how it goes. We do have an employee app we call the employee experience, so everybody can get their pay stubs, see that they can get their time system through the employee app to do that. If they're using the advanced schedule, specific dedicated time app for that, which would be a separate app. But for everybody else, it's just looking at the holiday schedule and that kind of stuff. People employee experience with some sign on. So.
Any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions, Betty Jo?
I just wanted to ask about, do you provide, like you said, you have the employee app, like an e-notice? So instead of, if someone had direct deposit, maybe they didn't need the paper, you know, direct deposit voided check, they could get a PDF of their check each pay, and that might cut down on, you know, mailing or paper or the cost of processing payroll, if that was an option.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm glad you did that because you mentioned something earlier about pay stubs, or Denise did that I want to come back to. Absolutely. So each pay period, your biweekly, when you process payroll, once that's finalized, within 2 to 3 hours, they can get a text notice or an email that says payroll's been processed. Go in, review your check. And then they can, you know, if there's something that's missed, they can come to you and say, hey, Betty Jo, I should have had an extra hour here, I should have had that. You can get that corrected before the pay period if you need to. They can run reports. So if they're in front of a, say, an auto dealer or a mortgage broker and they want, you know, 6 months of pay stubs, they can run a PDF those over to the guy. When somebody requested a direct deposit change, the employee is going to get notice that their direct deposit has been changed. We highly recommend that you don't take emails for that.
Yes.
There's a lot of fraud.
Absolutely.
Kind of stuff. I just had a client get hit with that over the weekend, and I just kind of would have thought they do better, but and once that money's gone, it's gone. But yeah, so the app's there. They can get their W-2 there. They can get their 1095s there. They can request changes to tax status, direct deposit. They can tell you their offices or move their home address from point A to point B. What I want to get back to on the pay stub, at least you mentioned this, having time on the pay stub. With the time system, we recommend that you don't, because the time system is real time. You know, or a pay stub that's only as good as that last.
Well, if you have the electronic version, so
Yes,
they can see
right.
it immediately, so
Absolutely.
that would
That takes you, okay,
take that
good.
away.
I didn't want to promise you something.
No, but that was just something because we didn't have that option before.
Yeah.
To see exactly how much
Sure.
time we have, so.
So yeah, you can do that. And you had said that you're with the USA, which is now Assure. The implementation is generally 6 to 8 weeks ahead of when you want to make a transition. We would ask for a username and password. We go into the system. We would get out the demographic data. We would take out year-to-date check history because we're going to need that. We'll produce the W-2 for next year. If we're going to be doing ACA, we're going to grab 2025 check history. So that'll be in our system as well, because we need that for ACA purposes. And if you wanted us to bring in, additional years, we could do that as long as it's electronic format for a cost. Additional fee, but it's not bad. Our customer service, like I said, it's 8:30 to 5:30. We're in West Hampton. You can email us, you can call us. We answer the phone. We're similar to USA, and we're small enough that people call us and get through, as opposed to the big guys like ADP, where you take 20, 30 minutes waiting for the phone to get through. And customer service was very good, very responsive. I'm the sales rep. Once you guys become a client, I become the customer service rep. So I stay involved, even though I'm not a technical guy. So.
Okay. Any other questions, Betty Jo?
No, I mean, that was going to be my next question about implementation and how to get the information over to you. I didn't know if we had to get like new W-4s for everyone, but if you can take it directly from the old system, that's amazing.
Yeah, we can do that as long as we can export it. They're on the Assure platform. That's all electronic, so we can get reports and stuff out of that one. We may have to ask you to help us get some of the data. If there's anything else you want to keep? Do you use any kind of human resource management system at all? Do you for onboarding anybody or keeping certifications, licenses, that kind of stuff? Okay.
We don't have. We didn't know there was an option for that. I'm sure that's additional.
Well, a couple of things. A basic onboarding package. So you hire a new employee in our system. You put their name, their email, and their sex. I'm not sure why sex is required, but it's a required field. You put that in there, and then you send them an email that says, "Hey, log in and create your own employee experience account," and then they can complete all that data. They can do the W-4, they can do their I-9, they can do their direct deposit online. So that's included in the package.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all right there. And it helps.
No room for a mistake then, or less room.
Less room for a mistake. Yeah. Is that a 4? Is that a 5? Is that a 9?
Right.
That kind of stuff. So I'm not starting it again. You're late.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so we do that. The human resource management system. I mean, we've got places you can keep data, but we also have a way that if you wanted to track licenses, driver's license, you need that for insurance purposes. If you want to have documents online that the employees maybe can see your collective bargaining agreement, your personnel agreement, that could be online. They can see that in the employee experience. So those are all some other things that you can, enhancements that you can add to this. And at your size, you might find that that's helpful. You might find it's over. Down the road, if you want to add, certainly add it at that time.
So if we say yes, we're going to go with the company, and we give you that time period, 6 to 8 weeks to get everything together, is there other than the April 30th user group, is there a time that someone will come out and train us, or is that how we have to do it? Go through coming to your office and do a training that way?
No, it's typically not either. It's typically a Zoom call. So we use Zoom all the time. And as far as the training goes, the first processing goes, our staff's going to be in our office to do that. We just stay. There was a time we used to come out and do on-site training, but quite frankly, we have better resources when we're in our office and access to our system to make changes than being here, because they have somebody here, they got to talk to somebody back there. Well, yeah, they either got to take back or they're talking there, so it's either 2 people or whatever, or work on the phone.
But I would consider that training.
Absolutely.
Zoom or in person, I would consider that training.
And we're high touch on now. Government service teams for individuals that service our clients, and then overflow goes over to our major market team. My time and labor departments, I think they're about 80 employees at this point, so they're well staffed as well. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I'll get you a proposal. You probably want to see a demo. At least see what the system looks like. You want to see, and if you want to see the schedule, we can back down on the backside of it so you can see that. We've got a dedicated guy that does the schedule. You probably have a dedicated guy that does your schedule, whether it's you.
Yeah. We're all the dedicated guys.
Yeah, there you go. Very small borough, yes. but yeah, you can see, we'll get that done. If you were to make a move, when are you looking to make a move?
Second quarter, correct?
Yeah. Sorry, I have to go to my other town, so I'm just gonna keep you on the phone while I drive there.
Okay, we are hoping to be started by June. That would be the goal.
Like June or July?
Well, I mean, right, so July 1 would be right, so April,
I
May,
think
June.
that first,
Yeah,
do you
so-
pay on a Friday?
I'm sorry?
Yes. Yeah, you pay on a Friday, I think the first Friday in July is the third, if that happens to line up, it would be a third of the 10th. We could do that, we could certainly do it earlier than that, if you want sometime in May or June, and maybe catch some of the summer staff before, you have to get into that.
Mhm.
The only thing that happens then is, you'll have to get some taxes back, some of the smaller taxes back from, Shore right now, we got to double those, but that's a small piece of it, but otherwise, otherwise it's pretty easy. And if you're ready to start before then, it's sometimes easier than trying to start July 4th holiday, you got a holiday right there.
True. So that was, we were trying to go quarters
Yeah,
instead
sure.
of administrative.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it easier, right?
I mean, it does and it doesn't. At this point, we import everything. We're going to double check everything that they've done. If we kind of come up with any deltas, we're going to come back to you and say, okay, look, this is the way we would have done it. This is the way it's been being done. How do you want to do it going forward? But yeah, we do a real good analysis of your data to make sure that it's clean. We're bringing it over. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it'll obviously definitely be.
May, June.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, May, June. Okay. As far as a demo, are you guys looking for next week's, 2 weeks out? Whenever we get coordinated. I need to look at calendars back there. You just give me an idea and I can shoot some dates over.
Yeah, next week is fine for most of, I would say for anyone.
Okay, I'll see what I can do next week. And that's not a payroll week for you.
Yeah.
Okay, that was this week.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, we can do that pretty high level and show you this. Obviously I'll get your references. I don't know. Betty Jo, if you know anybody in the surrounding towns here?
I think
Who
she went to
used
another-
Prime Point?
Yeah, who use Prime Point?
Yes, I know the CFO from Pennsauken.
Oh, yeah, she's,
She loves you.
she's a third time user. She was in Evesham when I first met her, and then she went briefly, I think, to Hamilton, and then she came down to Pennsauken, but yeah.
Yeah, Pennsauken told me about you, and Brooklawn,
Brookline, okay.
Ryan, and I got another message, I can't remember what town it was, so I've gotten three,
Okay.
absolutely, we think they're great
Thank you.
messages, so.
Yeah, that's, my team's just done well, as a sales guy, it makes it easy in this vertical. I just wish I could bottle it up and take it to my commercial vertical, where there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, we've done good. So I'll look to get you some demo dates for next week. We'll demo the payroll, we'll demo the time system. I'll get you over an email. Denise, I only have your part, so I'll coordinate through you.
Yeah, that's fine, and I'll send it on to
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. So, but yeah, I appreciate you having me in. Any other
Appreciate
questions, anything else?
No, we're good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right,
very
good.
much. Thank you for your time.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm shutting you off, Betty Jo. Thank you.
See you, Betty Jo.